yucky today and don't know what to do? I have just the thing for you. Sometimes we just feel so yucky, low vibrations, what to do. In this video, guys, I want to share with you what happens when I'm in low vibrations and what is it that I do to get out of it and what is it that I actually don't do. So if you guys want to know how when you're in a funk, feeling low, feeling just kind of a bit off, and what is the best way that I personally use to get myself out of the funk, to get me into that happy-go-lucky vibe again, and especially the things to avoid, I want to share with you in this video. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Tina Wong. I'm here with Awaken with Tina every single day, sending you so much love, so much blessings, and of course, so many beautiful guidances so that you can confidently step into your true power. So if you guys are about that life, like the video, share the video, let me know in the comments if you guys like it, and of course subscribe to the channel. So let's get into it. What is it that I do when I get into the low vibes? Let's talk about the low vibes a bit. Sometimes we feel off, right? Sometimes we know why, sometimes we don't. Let me know if you guys agree with this. Sometimes it's just like it just hits you out of nowhere. So what's the first thing that I do when I'm in this weird funk? First thing first, the biggest mistake that I see with most people is that when they're in a low vibrational state, when they're feeling low, they're feeling off, they're like,
oh, I need to get out of it. I need to do something. I need to somehow escape this.
But then that's a mistake, because what happens here is that we have to allow. We have to tune into the allowance kind of energy. So this is the first thing that I want you guys to take a look at is, are you allowing your emotions to come through? Because as often or not, what it is that we are coming through is actually what we need to release. But if we don't allow ourselves to feel funky, if we don't allow ourselves to feel off, then we will never get to fully release, because what will happen is that your funky emotion is going to go up and like, oh, it feels uncomfortable, I feel so weird, I need to escape it. But the thing is, you never really wait enough for it to release, because when it gets released, it doesn't get bottled up anymore. The thing what I see with most people is that they live their entire life with the things come up, okay, no, distraction, okay, no, let me do something. So it will come up, press, come up, press, come up, press. So this is why we have bursts of anger, frustration, even emotional outbursts, but then we have no idea why we feel like that. So the first question that I want you to ask yourself is, am I allowing myself to feel? Am I allowing myself to be in the funk? Am I allowing myself and my emotions to be released? And when I'm going through my spiritual awakening, and trust me guys, there's been a lot of things going up, going down, the whole roller coaster, what I'm talking about? If you guys have been feeling that, let me know in the comments down below. And actually, if you guys want to know about my spiritual awakening story, like what actually happened, let me know. Just write spiritual awakening story. And if a lot of you guys want to hear it, I would love to share with you. But this is really understanding that life is not this, because when we have this, it means that we are flatlining. That means that we are like out, what I'm talking about? So this is why we have to understand, if there's high, of course there's going to be low. So just really allowing, right? When you have the high days, allow. When you have the low days, allow. And this is called accepting. It's called about having compassion with yourself. The second thing that I do is to really allow for rest. Okay, and some of you guys maybe feel the same. When you feel low, what does your body tell you? Does your body want to move, or does your body kind of want to go like this? You know what I mean? So most of the time, a lot of us, we don't listen to our body. And when I feel into these kind of funky vibes, it happens, I really just don't want to do much, or I just want to just be alone, or I just want to just to keep to myself, and I just feel kind of tired, kind of drained. I don't know if you guys have been feeling that way, or you guys feel that way from time to time. And a lot of the time is that our body is sending us signal like, hey, you need a nap, girl, right? You need to sleep, right? You need to just relax, rejuvenate, right? Retreat a little bit. And I know like lately, especially, the energy has been so crazy on my side. And some of you guys may have followed me for a bit now. You know that so much has happened in my life lately. And this is why whenever I feel like that, I need to be like, okay, I need to rest. I need to clear out my schedule, and I need to really prioritize myself, because a lot of this is sometimes when you go through an awakening journey, you are getting a lot of downloads. And I made a video talking about this right here. So if you've been feeling low, make sure you watch this. And this is interesting because a lot of us, we don't really understand that sometimes that low feeling is that it's preparing for us to jump into our new chapter, into a new version. Because when we feel low, we feel drained, it's because we've been receiving so much download that our body doesn't know what to do with all of this information, and it's like confused, right? And sometimes we have to go through an integration phase. So this is why we call it rest, rejuvenation. So if you've been calling to rest, rest. Don't try to be like, oh my gosh, but my to-do list is this. Oh my gosh, I'm so behind. That is not being compassionate with yourself, and that's not really honoring your energy at the moment. And that's something that I have personally realized going through my own awakening, going through my own stuff. So I think that one is gonna really help you. And I'm going to share with you these 2 things or 3 things that you can do actually to get you out of this phase. But first, I want to mention something. So the thing here that I wanted to say that is going to be really important for you is this idea of releasing. And I know I talked a little bit about that when I was talking about allowance, but really a lot of us, we feel like emotions are bad. Who here has felt that way or has been conditioned that way, right? It's like, don't cry, you're not a little girl anymore, you're not a little boy anymore. Why are you crying? Crying is weakness, releasing emotion is weakness. When you go out, use your indoor voice, How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? Lately, I've been tuning into this energy that we are just we're not given the right environment for us to fully express ourselves and express our emotions. When I was growing up, I was told I need to keep things to myself, right? Because otherwise I'm bothering people. I was told to, don't cry because crying is such a weakness and no one's going to respect you if you're just going out and just crying. So for the longest time in my life, I've been just like suppressing my emotions and trying to not show anything. And it's funny because a lot of you guys, know me today and you're like, oh my gosh, Tina, you're so sweet. I always feel like you really care, and you always show us that you really care. But to be honest, it wasn't that way. For the longest time in my life, my face was like this. Legit, like my face was like, it's like the resting bee face, because I was told like I cannot show that I care. I could not show that I really love people, or they think that I'm creepy, or they think that I'm too much. So this is why we've been so conditioned to not allow ourselves to release our emotion. So what happens is that our emotions get so stuck and so bottled in. And when we, the slightest thing that like triggers us, we go all out. Have you ever had like a volcanic effect? Meaning that like something small and then you're just like, I'm losing my you know what I mean? I'm losing my crap. Oh my God. And you just like go off and then sometimes you just go into this mode where you just like crying endlessly, and then it just hits you. That's what I call the volcanic eruption mode. That's what happens when you store and store and store and store and push and push and push and compress and compress and compress. And I remember hearing this from one of my favorite channels, Bashar, and he said, depression is really compression. You're compressing your emotion, you're compressing your feelings, anything that you've been storing. So do please be careful with that. Allow things to come up. It's not bad to cry. There's nothing wrong with crying. So when I work with people, I always tell them, when you're crying, allow yourself to cry. Don't associate tears as weakness. Tear is freaking release. You're releasing that stuff. You're releasing the stuff you've been holding on for freaking years and even decades and even lifetimes. So really release it. Be proud of it. Encourage it. So the things that I do that really gets me out of the funk, and I think you guys are gonna enjoy it as well. It freaking works every time, guys. It really works. So the first thing here I want to share with you is this amazing chant. Okay, have you tried the chant before? If not, give it a try. So it's really simple. You just I don't know, just get into a meditative position. It's just so much more fun when you do the whole thing, you know what I'm talking about. So just get into your meditative position and just okay? So it goes like this. And you will notice that there's like a wave of calmness. And you will notice like when you actually get to activate your throat chakra, and it goes like this, when you do the it feels so good. It feels so releasing. And if you practice this, once, twice, 3 times, as many times as you feel called to, what it does is that it naturally raises your vibrations. It naturally puts you in this high vibrational state, because what happens here is that you're tuning into this frequency, this high frequency of this beautiful universal energy of connecting you with the awakening, connecting you with the life force energy, and connecting you with source. And then you're also activating your throat chakra over here, and all of this vibration, you will feel it in your body. It feels so good. Give it a try, guys. Let me know in the comments if you love it, because I love it. And the second thing here that I want to share with you is a lot of times when we are in a low vibe, funky vibe, we just want to sit on the couch, right? We just want to just like watch TV, Netflix, scroll. Although it seems like harmless, although it seems like, yeah, it's going to distract me, get me out of this funk, I want you to be really careful with the word distraction, okay? Distraction. And I want you guys to comment this below. I must avoid distractions. I must avoid distraction. Because what happens in my early days is that I was like, I'm just going to do something to keep my mind off the thing, right? That's a logical thing to do. But what happens that, again, is this whole compression thing. You're distracting yourself, but the thing is still there. We need to release it. We need to be aware of it. We need to let it go. So this is why instead of really just being distracted by things like, that you're doing passively, actually, if you actually want to be distracted or take your mind from it, the hack here is actually get yourself out somewhere. Get yourself out of the house. Go for a walk. Go to the grocery store. Go somewhere new. And what happens here is that you are removing yourself in that, funky vibe, and you're removing and changing yourself out into a new environment. And what happened is that the new environment, and if it's the right, fun environment, especially in nature, especially in something that is relaxing and uplifting, you will realize that environment will actually wash away all of these things that you think that is a problem, but actually it's not. And then you have a new perspective that, oh, I don't know why I was so worked up for, right? You're like, oh, it's fine. I'm really enjoying this new thing now. So really get yourself outside and going somewhere different. And actually, it was yesterday when I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and I was feeling like, oh my gosh, I need to go to a new country soon, and I'm like, I need to wrap up all my stuff here, all my work, all my to-do list, and it was like, oh my god, it was a lot of things going on. So I'm like, okay, I need to take a pause. I need to get myself out of the environment. I need to get myself out somewhere. So what happened is that I got myself to this beautiful wellness center, spa center, went to a sauna. So taking myself to a completely new environment and doing a new activity. So that's another thing. Doing something new. Try a new activity. Do something that you've never done before. Do something that you otherwise wouldn't have tried. Just put yourself in a new environment and doing something different that will completely shift your mind and shift the way that you approach that problem or that situation. So these are the things that I do when I'm feeling a bit in a low vibe. Let me know in the description or in the comments below what is it that you do to get you out of the funk, and hopefully you can help a brother or a sister out here in the comments. So share that, and I'm gonna go through all your comments, give you some hearts, give you some love over here. And if you guys wanted to really dive deeper into how to get yourself out of this funk, I made a beautiful morning meditation that is bringing you back to heart, that is bringing you back to self, and it only takes 7 minutes. So you can take a look at this here. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you very, very soon.